Hi, super scientists. So we're going to be looking at how ocean and terrestrial food chains are interconnected, as well as different ocean habitats and the zones of the ocean. I wanted to show you a quick animation of sonar so that you could see that illustration for one of your vocabulary words. So you have a research vessel that is on the top of the ocean, and it's using single beam or multi-beam sonar and bouncing sound waves off the bottom of the ocean, and then those sound waves return to the ship, and the ship will measure how long it takes for the sound waves to return, and that helps scientists to be able to map the ocean floor and to see different features based on if it takes a really long time to get there and a really long time back, then it might be in a valley, and if it's just a quick return, a quick little echo, then it may be a sea mount. It may be something that is a little higher in elevation. So there's three main zones in the ocean. The intertidal zone, so that's going to be the zone that is located up at the beach. So it's from the tidal area, so the high tide area, out to the low tide area. And we'll talk more about the organisms that can be found in those habitats later. So literally the word means between, inter means between, and tidal refers to the tide. So it's from the high tide to the low tide area. The neritic zone is from the low tide line to the end of the continental shelf, which is right here. So basically it's that area where it's getting a little bit lower, a little bit deeper to the end of the continental shelf where it will drop off at the continental slope. So the neritic zone is still going to be a little bit shallow and it's fairly flat, but it's sort of a gradual decline. And the open ocean zone is the continental shelf, so the end of the continental shelf here, where it drops off to the continental slope, on out to the rest of the ocean. So basically this is going to be the open ocean zone is going to be the largest and the deepest ocean zone. There's three groups of life in the ocean, three groups of aquatic life, and scientists will classify these organisms based on how they move and where they live at. So plankton is one you're probably familiar with. No, this is not SpongeBob. So plankton is going to be tiny algae or tiny organisms that float on the water. Copepods, diatoms are examples, and sometimes organisms that are younger organisms are going to be really small, and they're going to start out as plankton until they get a little bit bigger, until they grow larger. For example, some jellyfish that are really small are going to be plankton, and they're going to be carried by the waves. So basically the waves and currents are going to really affect them. Nekton are organisms that can swim wherever they want to, so they can move up and down throughout the water column. Dolphins, jellyfish, stingrays, bat rays, lots of different types of fish. They can move around wherever they want to. And on your EOG, when you see this term, water column, just think about columns, like columns on the periodic table, groups. They're vertical. So columns just referring to up and down. So the water column is going to be basically just a vertical area that organisms are going to be able to move up and down. And then benthos organisms, benthos are going to be confined to the ocean floor. Some of them are able to move, and then some of them cannot. For example, eelgrass is going to be found at the bottom of the ocean, but it's a plant, so it's going to be rooted in place, so it won't be able to move. However, crabs and starfish, different types of starfish, octopods, like this octopus here, they are able to move, and they can move around wherever they want to. Sand dollars are alive. If you've seen a sand dollar before, they're going to be round, and they're usually bleached white when you see them if you purchase one at the store, but they actually have kind of a brownish green, purple even color to them. They have lots of hairs on them, and they are actually alive. Then ocean food webs. These are some different terms that I just wanted to review really quickly that applied to food webs we talked previously about with ecosystems, but also apply with aquatic and ocean-based food webs. So a food web is just going to be referring to all the different feeding relationships in a habitat. So what eats what else. Producers are going to be able to make their own food, and the base of any marine or base of any aquatic food chain is going to be photosynthetic plankton. Photosynthetic plankton. So it's going to be able to go through photosynthesis. So that's going to be the start of any food chain, the base of your trophic level pyramid in the ocean. So here is algae-based plankton, so that's referred to as phytoplankton, phyto referring to photo as in light. So the algae plankton is going to be photosynthetic. And then the animal plankton is zooplankton, Z-O-O, as in zoo, which is your stem that means animal. So if you see the word zooplankton on your EOG, it's referring to animal-like plankton, just because primarily it is able to consume, so it will eat the phytoplankton. Consumers don't make their food, they have to eat other stuff. Fish, whales, lots of things in the ocean are going to be consumers. And then decomposers are going to break down waste and remains, and a lot of times you'll see decomposers as benthic organisms at the bottom, like crabs, for example. A lot of organisms you see at the very bottom of the ocean, like isopods, they're going to be decomposers as well. So how are terrestrial and aquatic food webs related? How are they interconnected? Well, your stem tear, T-E-R-R, refers to land, and then aqua refers to water. So how are the terrestrial and aquatic food webs interconnected? How are they related? Well, a terrestrial animal might eat something from the water, or an aquatic animal might eat something from the land, something that's terrestrial. To give you an example, a person from the land, of course, because even though we can go swimming, we're terrestrial because we don't live in the water. A person could eat a fish. Fish live in water. So that shows how terrestrial and aquatic food web could be interconnected. A polar bear, something that, yes, can go swimming but lives on the land, could eat a seal or eat fish, which live in the water. So an example where you might see that on your EOG is to be asked or to be given some different examples and for you to pick out which one is most appropriate. And you might have some distractors that are incorrect answers. Like, for example, you may see as an incorrect answer a person eating coral. Well, I've never eaten coral. I don't know about you. Coral is generally going to be hard. It's found on the bottom of the ocean, and it's not going to be a tasty treat. So that would be a distractor. That would be incorrect. So you may have some things that are either terrestrial or aquatic, but you might not necessarily have that organism eat the other organism. So you want to look for things that make sense, like a person eating a fish, or a bear, like a brown bear, eating a seal. That's another example. So here's some other examples of food chains. These aren't necessarily interconnected, terrestrial and aquatic, but just so you could see the progression. So T-Rex, secondary consumer, eating a triceratops, which ate a plant because it's an herbivore. And then you can see the progression within this strictly terrestrial food chain and this strictly marine food chain. So these do not show interconnectedness between terrestrial and aquatic because this is just terrestrial, this is just aquatic. So for example, if this bird were eating a fish, then it would be showing the interconnectedness between terrestrial and aquatic. Now, if you did not get this graphic earlier, here it is again, so that you could see it a little more clearly and a little larger. And you should be looking at your note sheet to label intertidal zone, neritic zone, open ocean zone, and then the 3 vertical light zones within the open ocean zone, which we'll talk about later: surface, transition, and the deep zone.